I'm going to be cooking today a larb-style pork dish with some ingredients from my CSA. Starting with ground pork that I've seasoned with white pepper and a pinch of salt. I have here some diced shallots, about a tablespoon and a half of grated ginger, a little bit of garlic, I think that's one plump clove minced, one jalapeno minced. If I had it, I would use lemongrass, but I don't, so I'm using lemon thyme. This is a couple of stalks of green garlic that's been sliced, a carrot. I have some snow peas that have been cut on the bias. These are the stalks that I've sliced separately and I'll cook separately than the greens of some mustard. This is a sauce made with liquid aminos. You could use soy instead. A little bit of sesame oil. The pork has a lot of fat in it, so I don't need a lot of oil. Some mirin, which is like a rice cooking wine. This is about 2 pounds of pork. It's quite a lot, but it's just what I had in the freezer. I'm going to start it out without any oil because it's so fatty. It's almost like cooking with sausage. So I'm just going to cook it down slowly so it can release its fat with the minced shallot and the ginger and the garlic. Again, I already have some white pepper and a touch of salt in here. I'm not going to add too much salt because I'm going to be adding more saltiness later with the sauce. But once I get a little bit of browning, I'm going to go ahead and add my carrots, my sliced green garlic, my minced jalapenos, and the lemon thyme that's been stripped. Okay, so it's a little drier, so I'm going to add my sauce. I don't know if I mentioned, I put a little bit of ground coriander in because, again, I don't have basil or cilantro, so I'm just kind of trying to add a little bit of flavoring in there with the coriander. And so I'm just going to let that reduce a bit. The aroma is really, really intense right now with the fish sauce and the jalapeno and the garlic, the green garlic. So I'm just going to let that simmer down a little bit before I add other ingredients. Once the moisture has started to evaporate a bit, I'm just going to go ahead and add the mustard green stems that have been chopped. I don't really like my peas very cooked, so once the mustard green stems are tender, I'm going to add my sliced snow peas, stir them in, and just let them cook a couple of minutes, just until they're tender, before I stir in the mustard greens. And then I'm going to turn off the heat, and that's it. It's been just a couple of minutes with the peas, so I'm going to go ahead and add the mustard greens. This is going to get a little tricky. I may just go ahead and add a lid to this to wilt the greens because my pan is getting pretty full, and then I'll stir them in. My mustard greens have wilted down a little bit with the lid on, so I'm just going to go ahead and stir those in. This is very, very close to being done. Basically, when the greens are cooked, which will just take another minute or two, then I'm going to turn off the heat, stir in just about half of the fresh herbs, the mint and the parsley, and then I will reserve the rest of the chopped herbs to garnish the finish. Beautiful. It smells so good. I wish you guys could smell this. So I'm just sprinkling in the herbs. The heat's off. I'm going to stir those in. And then I'm going to serve this. Typically it would be served with rice, but I don't have rice in the house for some reason. So I have a roasted sweet potato that I'm going to serve it with. But rice would be great. Any kind of cooked, fluffed grain would be delicious.